Good evening, Sue. Good evening, Anne. Hey, today is our last class together for this module. I really hope your friends can join. So it's cute. Anne and Sue, you send me the exact same thing. Okay, so we will wait for your course mates for 2 to 3 minutes. And if they don't join, we will proceed without them. Let me just send a reminder again. Let's see. Cheyenne is here. That's nice. Today's our last session for the anatomy and physiology module, so do your best to join. Okay, we shall wait for 1 more minute and then we can start. Can I just confirm if you all can hear? Let me see. Can hear my voice and can see my video clearly? Can. Okay, thanks, Sue. Thank you. And John is here. Let me see who is missing. Kimpar is not here yet. And hi, John. And one more person. Let me have a look at the attendance sheet to see who else is not here. Let's see. Cheyenne is here, John is here, Sue is here, Anne is here. Oh, okay. Jack is missing, John is here. Jack, Elizabeth, and Kimpar. Okay, that's okay. I think they may join later, but we can start with the session first. So today is the last lecture for this module, and today we will cover the final system. Oops, why did we start from here? Let's see. Okay, let's start with this. The skeletal system. So even though it's the final system we're studying for this module, there are actually other systems as well in the body, like the reproductive system, endocrine system, and a few others. However, in this module, this is the last system that we are studying. Okay, let me find my arrow, my laser pointer. Okay, so again, a reminder that this is the human skeletal system that we'll be focusing on. So just keep in mind the human body, the skeletal system of other animals is different. Okay, so in this lesson, you should be able, so after this lesson, you would know the role of the skeletal system and you should be able to describe that role. And next, you should be able to label the bones of the skeleton. So later, we're going to have a look at what's inside this flesh of yours. How does the skeleton look like? And what is the name of each of that part? And then you will also learn different types of skeletal joints. You will learn what joints is. And lastly, throughout the lecture, we will be looking at how the muscular system and the skeleton are related to each other. Like what's the relationship between the muscular system and the skeletal system. Okay, so let's just dive into it. Let's start with the role of the skeletal system. So again, imagine if you didn't have the skeleton, if you didn't have bones, would you be able to stand upright? Would you be able to stand straight? And how would your organs be placed inside your body? You would be like a worm or like a very soft creature that's just like blobby creature, which would not be ideal, right? Considering we have so many important organs inside us. So the role of the skeletal system is very easy to guess. It is to provide support and protection for the body's internal organs. Okay, and it serves as an attachment point for muscles. So you have muscles, but what are those muscles attached to? It is your bones. At the end of the day, it is your skeletal system that's also supporting your muscular system. The muscles are attached to your skeleton. Okay, and this system, the skeletal system, it consists of three main parts here. It's the bones, the joints, and the cartilage. And we'll look at the joints later in details as well. So the reason we have a shape is humans, for example, we have a shape, it's because of this system. The skeletal system is the one that's keeping us in shape. And it is because of this system that we're able to move. So when you move from one place to a whole different place, it's called locomotion. Okay, so the reason we can move is because of this system. And again, this is our framework. And because we have the heart inside, we have the lungs inside, all these are protected by the skeletal system. It's like the house, the gates for all our internal organs. Okay, and because our skeleton is inside our body, it's an endoskeleton. Okay, here's a very brief picture, a rough one, just for you to see the whole picture of the skeleton. So the top part here is the skull. The skull here, this part is the skull. The mandible here, maxilla, vertebra, these parts. The clavicle is these bones here, these ones. These are the clavicle, the scapula, and the humerus, elbow, radius. The radius is the one here. The ulna is the lateral part. The wrist bones, the phalanges, the femur. Patella is here, the kneecap, the tibia, tarsals, again phalanges, metatarsals, fibula, knee. So all these parts, we'll be looking at it one by one as well. But these are the overall, I'm just saying the names so you get familiar with it. Yeah, the clavicle, sternum is this part here. The ribs, you may already know the ribs, the vertebra here, the pelvis. The carpals are here, the one in your hands, and sacrum. So all these names, it might be new to you, but if you repeat it and if you look at it again and again, you will get familiar with these words. Okay, so in your body, there are different types of bones. You have the long bones. And these, okay, so let's just go through the bones first. There's the long bones, the short bones. There's also the flat bones and the irregular bones. Okay, we look, so these four types, we'll look at each of it now. The long bones. Long bones, the name says it out. These are bones that are long. Okay, they're longer than they are wider. So they're not as wide as they are long. And they provide, they help us with movement. An example of these would be the femur, the thigh bone. Okay, or the humerus and the clavicle. Let's look at it here. See, the long bones. So the long bones, the name says it, are bones that are longer than they are wide, and You can easily tell from the skeleton which one are the long bones. Then there's the short bones. The short bones are also very easy to tell. For example, the one in your ankles, in your feet, or fingers. Those are the short bones. And again, they're almost similar in their length and in their width and in their thickness. Okay, see, it's almost the same from every, in the different lengths. An example of it would be, again, the ankles. This is your foot, okay? That's the heel part. These are the toes part. Next, the flat bones. The flat bones, again, are not that difficult to tell. They're thin and often they're curved. They serve as protection bones. So we can see, let's look at an example. The ribs, for example. Sorry. Here. Here, these are considered flat bones. They're very thin and they're flat. So what their function is, they actually provide protection. And also, let's go back to the slide, my laser pointer. Yeah, and also they provide attachment points for muscles. So muscles are usually attached to these flat bones. An example you saw just now, the ribs and the scapula is an example of, this is scapula, above your arm here and below your neck, the scapula. So those are examples of flat bones. And then you have the irregular bones. Again, the name says it, it's easy to guess. Irregular bones, they do not have a very regular shape. And compared to the other three, at least this one, the shape is not that regular. And you can see example of this would be the vertebra, the one in your, this one. This is example of irregular bones. And also the face, like the bones are not all the same. They have different structures, right? So it's not just, the whole thing is not a skull. The face, you have different irregular bones forming that shape. Okay. Now we will go deeper and look at each of the bones that we studied in the skeleton earlier. So let's start with the top part, the skull. A skull. We all have skulls, right? And the skull, what do you think is inside? What is it protecting? Can you guess? Anne asked a good question. She said, Tisha, why do they call it flat bones? It's because they're flatter compared to the other bones. So if you see if you have eaten, if those of you who eat animals, if you look at the ribs of the animals, whether it be beef or pork or other mammals, if you see the rib, it's a flat bone. It's flat like that. If you eat a rib, even goat or sheep, if you look at the rib, right, the next time you observe it, it's flat and curved. That's why it's called the flat bone. Is that clear, Anne? The next time you eat a rib of any mammal, try to look at it. It's actually flat. Is it clear, Anne? Did you get that? It's because of its shape. Okay, you're welcome. Okay, I have a question for you. Which organ do you think is being protected by the skull? What is underneath the skull? Which organ? Yes, Sue, the brain, correct. So the skull is the top part of your skeleton here, and it is very important and very crucial because it protects the brain and the brainstem and the eyes from external forces. Okay, so it even protects your eyes. And again, this is very important because we studied about the central nervous system, right? That system is very important, and the skull being its protector is a very important role. Okay, and also because of the skull and it protecting our nervous system, it is because of this that we're able to perform our body functions. And in a way, this skull is also important and plays a role in protecting and being integrated with the muscular system. blood vessels and the connective tissues. So because of that, we're able to swallow our food, we're able to breathe, we're able to have proper vision. So it's a very important system. Just keep that in mind, that the skull it's very important to protect your skull, especially when you're driving a car or motorbike. It's important to wear the helmet because your skull is protecting your brain. And if you damage the skull and the damage reaches the brain, it can cause a lot of complications. Okay, next. The shoulder girdle. So this part here is the shoulder girdle, and it connects to the upper limbs. Okay, so his skeleton is the upper skeleton and the lower skeleton. So this is a part of your upper skeleton, and it consists of this clavicle and the scapula bone here. Okay, so it consists of this whole region here, this and this. And again, the function of this is that it provides us with structural support. There's a reason you can move your arms and sit straight. It's because of this shoulder girdle. It keeps you in place. Okay. Next is, let's go to the arm. So the arm bone, again, consists of different parts. So this whole part is the arm bone, but if we look carefully, we have the humerus, the radius, and the ulna, okay? So let me just label them for you here as well. This one here. Why is it not working? Okay, I think I'll just use my laser pointer. But this part here, this is the humerus. This one here is the humerus. This part here is the radius. And this one is the ulna. So the radius is the one that comes along with your thumb. The one that's going along from your thumb is the radius. And then the lateral part is the ulna. Okay. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, I need to reshare, I think, because it hung. Okay, let me reshare because the slides were not moving. Okay. Let's see. One more time. We were at the arm bone. Okay, it's working now. So this part here is the humerus. H U M E R U S. And this part here, the one that's connecting with the thumb, is the radius. And the one next to the radius, this one is the ulna. U L N A. Okay, so the arm bones, these three are the main ones that you should remember, okay? The humerus, the radius, and the ulna. And again, their function is to help with, so other than providing the structural support, which all the bones in the body provide, they also allow us to move, gives us the flexibility to move our arms in a more precise manner. And it also helps us with picking up objects, like not directly, but indirectly. It helps us to move our hands to a more accurate place where we want to pick something up from, for example. Okay, so all these bones have a part to play in that. Okay, next. I need to share again. I'm not sure what's happening. The slides are not moving today. Okay, share. Let's see. Can you see the writing that I did on the slide? Okay, yeah, you should be able. Okay, thanks, Sue. All right, so next we have the hand. Okay, remember this one was the arm bone and the radius was attached to the thumb part here. Let's go to the next part, which is, okay, the arm, the hand. So the hand, again, has three different bones supporting it, okay? You will see it later. I will show it to you again later, but there's the carpal bone, the metacarpals, and the phalanges. So phalanges, remember, are these small bones here. Phalanges, every time you hear phalanges, imagine small bones connected to each other. So these are the phalanges. And then you have the carpals and metacarpals. So again, what hand has three different types of bones, right? Why three different types? Because if you, as humans, you see our hands are very flexible. And when we perform any function with our hands, it's very precise. Okay, when I want to pick up something, for example, I go and there's a specific way I pick it up. So because of that, you need to have three different type of bones, and the different joints in there allow you to have more precision when you're writing or playing some musical instrument or picking something or drawing or painting. So these because of these bones, we have the ability to have intricate movements. Okay, next we have the chest. So we go back to the chest, this area here. So the chest, again, you see the ribs, which are very easy to remember. And then this middle part here is the sternum, okay? So both the sternum and the ribs together, they protect, they keep our organs safe. And because of the sternum and the ribs, also we're able to have respiratory movements when we breathe in or when we breathe out. We feel the the ribs moving up and down. They allow for that to happen. So the sternum is the middle part here, the ribs are here, the cage. Okay, and behind this, they protect our thoracic cavity. There's lungs behind there. There's also heart behind there. So it's, again, very important. And the fact that it has the lungs inside there makes it very crucial in in playing a role in our respiratory system as well. And it also protects the stomach. The stomach is somewhere here. So it also protects the stomach. Okay, so the rib cage is literally like a cage with organs inside, taking refuge inside. Okay, next is the spine. Remember the nervous system that we studied? We studied the spinal cord. The spinal cord is hidden in the spine. Okay, inside the spine, you will find the spinal cord. So again, the spine is the main part of our backbone. It provides structural support to the whole body, and it allows us to stand upright. Okay, it allows us to bend as well. But the spine is one of those sensitive parts of the body. You see, as you age, some people they aren't able to stand straight. So it's very important to take care of your spine because inside the spine is your spinal cord, which is a very big part of your nervous system. And that's it. Like the spine is the bone that protects the spinal cord, and it provides structural support to the entire body. And if you don't recall, if you missed the previous lecture, you can go and have a look and then connect the two systems, how they help each other, the different systems in the body. So without the spine, you couldn't actually bend or twist around. Okay, and next we go to the pelvis. So the pelvis is the hip bone. Okay, again, it consists of three fused bonds, which we will not go into, but if you still want to know, those three fused bonds are called the ilium, the ischium, and the pubic bond. Okay, but the pelvis, you need to know where the pelvis is, and this part, this whole part here is the pelvis. You see zoomed in the blue picture. So the ones labeled here in pink, they're the pelvis, the hip bone. So what is the purpose of the pelvis? Again, it bears the weight of the body, the upper body. So that one is pretty obvious. It also stabilizes the body. I think our center of gravity is also somewhere here. It also transmits the weight. So we have the upper body and the lower body, right? So this is the one that transmits the weight to the lower body. Some balances everything. And also inside the pelvis are other organs, the reproduction organs, which are protected by the pelvis. And especially for female, when a female is pregnant, the fetus is inside. The pelvis provides a comfortable environment for the fetus. Okay. So very important and unique to its own function. Now we go, so we've been starting from the right top, from the skull. We're slowly going down. Okay, now we come to the upper leg, this part. These are the upper legs. So this bone here is called the femur or the thigh bone. Okay, but you need to know the name femur. And this is the longest and the strongest bone in your body. Did you know that? The thigh bone is actually the longest and the strongest bone in your body. And if you notice, right, it's very unique at the edges. So if you look at the upper part here, it's forming a ball and a socket joint with the hip bone. Okay, and then below here, this lower part, it connects with the lower leg. It forms a joint here. Yeah, but this is, the femur is the largest and the strongest bone in your body. Okay, next we go to the lower leg. So the femur was up here. Now we come to the lower leg. Before we go to the lower leg, I just want to point out this part. This is your kneecap, okay? The kneecap, this part is also called the patella. Let me write that down for any of you that want to. P A T E L L A. So the kneecap is also called the patella. Okay. And we go to the next one. I think you can see it. Let me share again. Cannot see. Yep, I got that. Let me share again. Can you see it now? Yes, okay. Forgive my writing, but that's basically P-A-T-E-L-L-A, patella, the kneecap. Okay, the kneecap connects the upper leg to the lower leg. Yeah. And you might wonder, how is it connecting the upper and the lower leg, right? It's because of muscles and ligaments. So in your body, there are the muscles. There are also ligaments that do that function for you. Okay, let's continue to the rest of the body parts. Okay, next we have the, oops, why is it not moving? Okay, let's move to the next slide. So lower leg. The lower leg has two main parts, the tibia and the fibula, okay? Okay, so this is the lower leg, this one, and it has two parts. Let me change that to laser. Okay, this part here, this one, the front one, the thicker and longer part. Okay, the thicker bone is the tibia. How do you remember that? Just remember tibia starts with T and thick also starts with T. So the thicker one is tibia. Okay, and the tibia is, its function is again to bear the weight. We're standing on our feet, right? On our legs. So it bears the weight of our body. And at the same time, it also connects to it's like a support for the femur, the thigh bone up there. Okay, so this is the tibia, the thicker part, and then you have the fibula, which is located laterally here. And there is one difference between tibia and fibula, and that is that the tibia is thick. It can bear the weight of the body, but the tibia doesn't really bear the weight of the body. It doesn't do that, okay? But it does serve as an attachment for leg muscles. But it doesn't, this is the part that bears the body weight. Okay. And again, the superior end of the tibia, the superior end here is connected to the upper leg, okay, the femur through this patella, the kneecap, and then this part here, the inferior end is connected to tarsals. These ones are called tarsals, which we'll go to again. And what the fibula does is, the fibula here, what it does is that it articulates with the tibia and the tarsals, okay? It articulates with the tibia and the tarsals. It forms a joint. Articulate means that it's forming a joint. So that's it. It's, again, this last point, in case you didn't get it, the fibula forms a joint with the tibia and the tarsal bones. Okay, next is the the lowest part, which is the foot bone. Okay, so the foot bone, it includes 3 different types again. Remember when I said one of it is phalanges? So I said every time you hear this word, just imagine small, small bones. So these are the phalanges. These ones, the small, tiny, tiny bones. These are the phalanges. Then you have these ones. These are the metatarsals. And the main one, which are the tarsals. Tarsals, metatarsals, phalanges. Okay. The tarsals, they contain 7 bones so that your body can adjust its positioning. And metatarsals forming the forefoot, meaning towards the front of the foot, and phalanges are basically the small, tiny toe bones. Okay, articulate with metatarsals. Again, they're forming joints with the metatarsals. Okay, let's move on. The names might be hard, but as you go on, you will get used to it. Let me highlight the names for you. You need to know the tarsals, metatarsals, and phalanges. Okay. And then let's talk about the joints, because we already talked about the different bones in our body. Let's talk about the joints, because without the joints, we can't really twist or bend or turn. So joints. There are 3 different types of joints. Again, you know, joints connect different bones, right? There are 3 functional types. So you have joints that don't move, like the immovable joints. Okay, and these joints are held together by firm fibrous tissues. Because they're firm and fibrous, there's no much flexibility. There is no flexibility for that bone to move. For example, the skull bone. Skull bone can't really move now, can it? Can you like make your skull bend the skull itself? No, right? You can't twist the skull itself. It's fixed, it's motionless. So this part, it's motionless in itself. I'm not talking about the lower part, okay? Like if I use my lower part, then yes, I can move. But the skull itself, it is immovable. And the reason it's immovable is because it's made of immovable joints. And next is slightly movable. So this one, the slightly movable joints, okay, the names you see here, every time you see this part, the arthrosis, it means it's related to bones, okay? So synarthrosis, immovable bones, slightly movable. So again, you see arthrosis, meaning related to bones, but it's amphiarthrosis, so slightly movable. And then you have diarthrosis, bones that are freely movable. So coming back, so immovable, we already studied the skull bone is made of immovable joints. They don't move, okay? The skull itself doesn't move. Then we go to slightly movable. These ones are held together by cartilage. Cartilage are the soft ones. So they allow some movement, but they're not very flexible either. So example would be the spinal segments, this part. Okay, so this one would be slightly movable, but you cannot really flexibly move it. But there are joints that allow flexible movement, and we call these ones freely movable joints. And these are the ones that laymen or in normal language, these are the ones, when we say joints, that's what we usually mean, okay? Freely movable joints. These are the ones that we're referring to. For example, the knee, you can move it, the knee joints, the shoulder joints, you can move them, the hip. So this one, because this is the freely movable are the ones that we normally refer to, we'll have a deeper look into it. And these are also called the synovial joints. Okay, so let's zoom into this. So you have a few in your body here. This part, because of the swivel joint, we're able to move our head. Okay, then if you go here, you see the ellipsoidal joint, the saddle joint. So I don't think you need to know like the exact spellings or the exact names of these joints, but you need to know that your body has 3 different types of joints: the movable one, slightly movable, and freely movable. But of course, if you want to learn these and if you want to memorize these, it's good for you in the long run. You see this part here, it's a ball and socket. That's how a joint here is like a ball shape and a socket shape. And that's why you can move around the leg, okay? So it is as simple as that. Let me go back to the main picture of the skeleton so you can see all the bones all over again together. Okay, in one picture. Shoulder girdle, skull, different types of bones. Okay, here. So you see the skull. We studied the skull, vertebra, you know this one. These are the vertebra, the small bones that are connecting. The sternum is the middle part here that's in between the left and right side of the ribs, right? This one is the sternum, this is the ribs, the hip bone is the pelvis, carpal is your hands, wrist, ulna is here, the radius is the one here with the thumb. Phalanges, again, you see it here in your fingers, and you also see it in your toes. Phalanges are the small bones. And then if you go lower, you see femur. This was the strongest and the longest bone in your body. Okay, patella is the kneecap. Then we have the tibia. Tibia is again the thicker part of the leg, and fibula is the thinner part. Tarsals, the main joint here, then metatarsals, and then phalanges again, your toe bones. Okay, so just in summary, we studied the different types of, we studied what the skeletal system is all about. We studied the different types of bones, long bones, short bones, the flat bones like the ribs, irregular bones, like those in your vertebrae. And we went deeper. So we started from the top. We studied on how the skull is there to protect your brain and how it gives a shape to your body, and also how muscles and blood vessels and connecting tissues attach to this bony framework so that we can perform certain functions like swallowing, breathing, vision. So again, remember that the muscular system and the skeletal system are connected with each other. We went to the shoulders and studied about the shoulder girdle, which consists of different parts like the clavicle and the scapula. Okay. And we also studied about the arm bones. We studied the three bones in the arms, the humerus, the radius, and the ulna. And we also studied the hand bones, the phalanges, remember, the small bones. And we understood why we need to have different types of bones in the hand so that we can have more intricate movements, so that we can be more precise in the work that we do with our hands. And we also studied the bones in the chest part, which were the sternum, the middle part here, and the ribs. And we understood how they protect very important organs like the heart, the lungs, and even how they contribute to protecting the stomach. Okay, and then we studied the spine. The spine was also related to the nervous system. The spine is the one that's holding the spinal cord, protecting the spinal cord, and how it allows us certain movements like bending, picking up things. When we drop something, we can bend and pick it up because of the spine. We can walk because of the flexibility of the spine. And we studied the hip bone, okay, the pelvis. And again, the pelvis, we studied of its role in making us stand stable, distributing the body weight, the upper body weight and lower body weight, and how it protects the organs inside. Okay, these are mainly the reproductive organs. And for female especially, it's very important because it plays a role in providing a comfortable environment for fetus. And we studied the upper legs, femur, the thigh bone, again, very interesting because it's the longest and strongest bone in the body. And we also studied how it's connected to the patella, which is also connected to the lower leg. Okay, in the lower leg, again, we studied the tibia and the fibula. The tibia is the one that's bearing the weight. And so I gave you a trick there. One way for you to remember the tibia is to focus on the T. The thicker part is the tibia. Okay. And then we went to the foot bone, which were the tarsals, the metatarsals, and the phalanges. Okay. And lastly, we studied the joints, how all the different joints play a crucial role in helping us move or in helping us be precise in the work that we do. Again, the human body is very interesting, very beautifully designed, and every part is designed the way it is because of the function that it has to carry out. So it's very unique to its own function. Okay, so that was it for the lecture and the end of the anatomy and the physiology of the body module. Do you have any questions? And just a reminder, I have left some references and resources for you. Again, I encourage you read IGCSE and A-level biology books if you have any, or you can search online. But these articles also, they're a bit in depth, but these journals are available online if you want to go and have a look. Okay. Elizabeth, oh, Elizabeth, you're here, no questions. Okay. Suas, are teeth also bones? Yes, they are, except that they are considered dead bones. So the teeth, like if a tooth cuts, the teeth itself doesn't feel pain. But How about nails? Okay, so teeth and nails generally, like for science students, they would not be considered bones, but generally people do see them as bones. But teeth and nails in itself, like they're not bones, because bones, okay, one of the functions of bones is that it does have other functions beside the structures that I mentioned. Like, do you know where red blood cells are made? Blood cells are actually made in the bone marrow. So nails and teeth, they're not for science students. So if you're studying biology, no, then it's not bones. They have a different name for them. Is there, how about, no, nails are not, they're not bones either. Because bones are not dead. Like bones, there's a lot going on inside a bone, and also the functions that it's performing in your body. Yeah, so was it interesting for you to find out that red blood cells are actually made in your bone marrow, inside the bone? Alice, Sue asks very interesting questions. So like your teeth and nails, you can't really call them bones, but you can say that they're hard tissues. Okay. Oh, I see. Sorry. Our ears are made of cartilage. So Sue asked, our ears are made of cartilage. So that's why they're so soft. But there are no joints in the ear itself. It's cartilage. That's why we can bend it. Did you get that, Sue? Yeah. Okay. Also, another way to notice the difference between like your bones and nails, for example, bones are alive. Okay, if someone's bone is being, when a person's bone is being performed any operation on, it hurts, it's alive. But when you cut your nails, you don't feel any pain because the nail is a dead hardened tissue. Okay, same with the tooth. The pain you feel is not in the tooth itself, it's because of, so if you study dentistry later on, if any of you are interested, you will see that there's like pulp and a whole nerve that extends to the tooth area, but the tooth itself is not painful. So if you're like, if the edge of your tooth cuts, you won't feel any pain. The tooth itself is hardened tissue, but if it's deeper, the reason you feel the pain, like if you go upper, it's because of your nerves up there, not because the bone itself, not because of the tooth itself. Our eyes are organs, Cheyenne. Eyes are organs. They're separate. Eyes and bones are separate. Okay. Uh, what are joints specifically? What are joints specifically? as the name suggests it, they join. Okay, joint is two different things that come together, like joint. Like when you, it's literally like how you join other things. So that's why I said, you see, you notice some of the joints is like a ball. So separate, like a ball structure, and then there's another structure that complements this bone. Okay, so it's two different structures that come together that form, and even between your like big, what holds that, there could be cartilage in between that. So cartilage is here. The ear itself is, the ear is made of cartilage. Understood. You're welcome, and you're welcome soon. Yeah, so just remember that bone and soft tissues and ligaments, they're also different things. Like the cartilage is, it's not a joint, but it is a very flexible connective tissue. Okay, and it's not just the ear, it's found in different parts of your body. Cartilage is the gel-like structure. Yeah. And if you study deeper, you can also see cartilage, like then there's different types of cartilage as well. It's not just cartilage is not just one specific thing. Let me save the slides. Okay, do you have any more questions? Oh, Kimpar is here as well. Let me take the attendance one more time before you leave. Wait, okay, let me take the attendance. So you can ask more questions if you have any questions. I like it that you think outside the box. No more questions. Okay, great. Let me take the attendance. Wait, okay. Before you leave, allow me to take the attendance. Okay, Cheyenne is present. And we have Kimpar is present. Kimpar, I didn't realize you joined the session. And we have John. Is John still? Okay, John is still here. John, Sue, yes. Sue and Anne, I always remember. They're first ones to join the class. And Jack is not here. Let me see Jack. Oh, Jack is here. Okay, everybody's present today. That's nice. Okay, so that was it for your lecture. If you have any questions from the previous lectures, you can ask now. If you have any, if no, it's okay, because the notes are all, they have been uploaded except for this last lecture. I will upload it to your Google Classroom. But at the end of the day, it's like, it's all about managing your own time, making your own notes and investing time into that. So will we have a test later? I am not sure, but you will be reached out about that, Cheyenne. Yeah. But you can test yourself. For example, the slides I shared with you just now, right? You saw a whole skeleton, and then you can cover those names or print it without the labels and see if you can label the structure of the skeleton, for example. I believe you will be tested, but I will not be testing you. Yeah. Yes, Anne, you were asking something. Uh, your Google Classroom, I believe all your notes, I upload your notes to the Google Classroom where you can go and view them. You can check with your admin. When will we get the results for our test? I am not sure about that, Cheyenne. Yeah, that depends on when your exam happens and the examiner who will be marking your papers. Zoom class. So as teacher, the lessons I missed, where will I watch? I mean, if I missed the Zoom class or... Okay, if you want to revise, it has been uploaded to your Google Classroom, yes. I can request the admin to share the link with you if you're not sure where it is. Yeah, but all the notes have been uploaded there. So if you've missed any lecture, you should go back to that. Oh, and I didn't know that you didn't know. I can check with the admin to update you on where you can find the notes, okay? Where do you usually refer to the notes then? Like all the notes that I've been uploading. I think Elizabeth, you've been referring to the notes, right? Where do you find them? I know Elizabeth has been referring to the notes because when I take my time to upload it, she asked me about it. It's in the Google Classroom. Okay, Elizabeth said it is in the Google Classroom. So some of you were not aware of that. I will be sure to request the admin to let you know how to access it. And you've been taking pictures on your phone. Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. I've actually been uploading these notes to your Google Classroom, and you can also find the videos there, the live videos. I mean, they're not live anymore, but like our live classes here, they're recorded and then uploaded to your Google Classroom so that if you want to refer back, you refer back to it. You don't have to take pictures. We take pictures in our phone. No, it's in your Google Classroom. Okay, some of you, so Cheyenne, some of you knew that, but some of you didn't know that, and you've been taking notes on your phone. But okay, it's okay. I'm glad to find out that some of you didn't know that, so that I can request the admin to update you on how you can use your resources. Okay, but everything is there in one place for you. You're lucky to have that system set up for you. Okay, so now that some of you are aware that we have a Google Classroom, be sure to go back and read the notes and check out, especially Jack and Kimpar. I think both of you missed one class, if I'm not mistaken. So you have to go back to the Google Classroom to read the notes. Okay, that's it. If no more questions, then that's it for our class. You can leave. You're welcome, Elizabeth. You're welcome, Cheyenne. It was a pleasure teaching you all. Thanks, Sue. You have a nice day too. Thank you, and you have a nice day too. I hope we can meet in person someday. Okay. Enjoy your evening. I, once you all leave the meeting, then I will end so that the recording is complete. Jack, do you have any questions? If no, you can leave the meeting. Jack, do you have any questions? If you don't have any questions, you can leave the meeting. Leave the meeting if you don't have any questions so that I can end our call.